At least a share of first place in the CAA on the line today in Fairfield, Connecticut. Towson in town to take on the Stags, a battle of two 2-1 teams for our CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. Here's a look at the standings in conference as we enter this game. UMass with the win earlier today, moving to 2-2. Winner of this one, guaranteed at least to share the top spot entering the final week of the regular season. And with that, we welcome you alongside Marcus Holman. I'm Travis Eldridge. Marcus, this should be a terrific game. Winner really puts themselves in a terrific spot to make the tournament. Loser, it's going to be a dogfight here in the final week.
Absolutely. We got beautiful weather on the East Coast. We're late in the conference season. This is going to be a huge matchup. Fairfield Alumni Day. I think the fans are going to be into it. It's going to be a tough battle here in the CAA.
So let's look at our players to watch in this one. We'll start with Towson, and their midfielder Kyle Berkley, the Maryland transfer, has had a terrific season so far.
Yeah, the junior from Maryland is a great player. He's more of an initiator. You see him here. He's not afraid to split double teams. He's huge, 6'4", 220. He'll run through slides. He'll get to the middle of the field. He's exactly what you want from a midfield perspective. He's able to get to that right hand all day.
On the other end, another midfielder, Fairfield's leading scorer, Taylor Stroud, can shoot with the best of them.
Taylor Stroud's a stud. He is a grad student from Long Island, the heralded high school of Cold Spring Harbor, and you see here, he's not afraid to shoot it. He's got 2-point range. He brings it overhand. He can shoot it sidearm. And again, another strong right-handed player for Fairfield. Look for him to stretch the defense today.
And that Fairfield offense is what you would expect it to look like. The sideline for Towson looks a little different here today. Sean Nadalin, the 11th-year head coach for the Tigers, not here today in Fairfield, Connecticut. He's missing the game due to COVID protocols. So Matt Musey, in his third season as Towson's assistant coach, he's the offensive coordinator for this team. He is the acting head coach today. Marcus, you're a guy who obviously has spent time on a college sideline. What are the changes that this Towson team will go through with the coaching staff?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out for them. I think, Coach Nadalin is kind of the heart and soul of the Towson program. But at the same time, it's the players that cross the line and actually play. So, they've got to go out there, execute the game plan. I'm sure Coach Nadalin was heavily involved this week in practice. So as a coach, sometimes you like to step back and just see what your team can actually do on game day. And I'm sure Coach is at home dialed in for this one.
Yeah, we assumed that he was there for practice throughout the week. We talked to him on Thursday. Everything seemed to be fine. It was on Friday yesterday that we figured out he was not going to be available to make the trip here with the team. But his team in the road yellow porthole throwback uniforms gets the opening possession here as Matt Constantinides, a bit of a homecoming for him. The new Fairfield, Connecticut native gets the opening draw.
Always a good start as a face-off guy, I'm sure, when the opposition jumps. Easy possession for Towson to start off the game. Let's see what they work into here.
This offense will look a little different as well for the Tigers. Starting midfielder Ryan Swain, suspended by the conference for this game. This is due to a play late in that game last week against Delaware. And so he is not available for this game either. This is Josh Weber, guy who's been part of the second midfield unit, who slides into the starting role, and there's a heck of a start for Towson. It's the guy we talked about just a second ago, Kyle Berkley, with the first goal.
Berkley getting buckets early. And you could just see in the huddle there how he towers over the rest of his teammates at 6'4", 220. Berkley able to get underneath here. Just kind of a simple wing dodge. He brings that stick back to his strong right hand to increase his angle, and he's able to just finish it past the goaltender.
So 1-0 Tigers, less than a minute into this one. We've got a scrum off of this face-off. It's a loose ball push, and that'll give it to the Stags.
Excited to see Fairfield's offense today. They're coming in 14th in the country in scoring offense. They're averaging just about 14 goals a game. They can score at will, and they've got one of the best duos in the country in Taylor Stroud and Jack Mckenna.
Yeah, Mckenna, the freshman, towers over everybody, 6'6", 220. Starting attackman here for Fairfield in his first year on campus. Rest of that starting attack unit, Bryce Ford and Max Paparosi. Here's a bounce shot. And an answer by the Stags. It's Kyle Borda, part of that starting midfield unit.
Borda buckets. We go from Berkley buckets to Borda down the other end. Just a nice lefty sweep, right? As an offensive player, you're always trying to get to the middle of the field. And as a shooter there, you know, that's just incredible placement. Low and away, the goalie's off hip. And we're off to the races here. 2 shots, 2 goals.
So things going Fairfield's way. This is a team that has played some up and down games this year as the faceoffs won by Frankie Lebetti. You look back at some of their games they've played, they have put up big numbers, including that 19-18 loss against Drexel just a couple of weeks ago. Scored 16 goals against UMass in the win last week. So they're not afraid of playing a game that's up and down and high scoring.
No, and you see they're starting to kind of feel it a little bit. Mckenna takes his guy off the end line, gets to the middle of the field. Nice save there by Towson.
Here is Stroud. Mentioned him at the open, joined by the Notre Dame transfer Mike Drake, along with Kyle Borda in that starting midfield unit. Good defense here by the Tigers. But somehow Borda splits it. Now the ball's loose. And it'll stay here with the Stags. Resets the shot clock to 60 as well. That's a break for Fairfield.
Love the effort from number 5, Regan McNamara there, diving to try and maintain possession. I'm not quite sure what the call was, but Fairfield retains possession.
Paparosi stopped by Shane Brennan. And the graduate student in his 6th year with the Towson program makes this stop. Comes into this game 5-4 with 11.73 goals against average, and he gets his team another offensive set. Towson scored.
I wonder as a goalie coming into this game, you know, you're going against a potent offense like Fairfield. It's probably pretty exciting, I'd imagine, right? You know you're going to see a bunch of shots, and 2 nice saves there from Shane.
Weber sends it behind here for the Tigers. Scored so fast we didn't get a chance to introduce the starting lineup. James Avanzato along with Nick Dimeo and Luke Schilling, the starting attack unit. Alex Reed, Berkley, and Weber in the starting midfield unit as it's turned over. Scooped up there in the middle as Nick Giardina, the long stick midfielder, causes the turnover.
Looked like it might have been a shot off the pipe there. Nice look inside by Towson, but just not able to finish it.
Is Bryce Ford. Sends it out to Trent Moran. Midfielder who can go both ways for the Stags. It's a Fairfield team under Andrew Baxter in his 3rd year with the Stags that is not afraid to get out and run. They've got some midfielders they feel pretty good about playing on both ends of the field.
Absolutely. He brings that pedigree from Yale, that championship pedigree, you know, a team that likes to push transition and 10-man ride. So, you know, you're going to see a lot of energy from the Fairfield sideline today, especially like we mentioned, Alumni Day. It's a beautiful day outside. Their sideline really gets energetic when they make plays.
Aiden McLean now works it around. Still 15 to shoot for Fairfield. Luka Kupski. Now it's Ford, jump shot right into Brennan's stick. He lost it for a second, but he corrals it.
Nice defensive possession there from Towson. Defending the invert and then able to recover, force an outside shot.
Great ball movement here in the unsettled situation, and they cash in. It's Luke Schilling with his 16th of the year.
And as we highlight the defense right down the other end, I think any great lacrosse fan knows that great defense can certainly lead to great offense. And, you know, Kobe Smith being out there as a threat, I think draws the attention of the defense. They're able to move the ball to the backside, and Schilling, nice job turning the corner and just burying that one low and away.
A violation on the Tigers there in the faceoff will give it back to Fairfield. Kobe Smith, a guy who was not available in the loss to Delaware last week for the Tigers, out due to illness, according to the Towson Athletics Department. But good to see him back in the lineup, a guy who's been an All-American throughout his career, as Fairfield answers again. How about the freshman Jack Mckenna, goal number 37 on the year?
Coach Baxter was just super, super high on Jack Mckenna when we talked yesterday. He just talked about his competitiveness as a freshman, which is not often the case, right? The big lefty is able to get underneath and just take it to the rack there. A lot of fearlessness that has to go through your head as an attackman, and he's getting on the board early. 2 nice takes by him early. He's not afraid to get to the rack.
Constantinides won that forward to himself, but the loose ball is scooped up on the back end by Braden Lynch for Fairfield. And tied at 2, they'll get another possession. Marcus, you mentioned the high-scoring duo of Mckenna and Strauss. We got a transition chance and another one. Right on cue, it's Taylor. Strauss, a snipe. He's got 38 on the year.
And this is the heavy hitters for Fairfield. You got Mckenna going to the rack underneath, and Strauss is certainly not afraid to stretch the defense. His defenseman here just backpedaling, trips, stumbles, and Strauss with that aggressive mindset is able to just go down the alley and blast one past the keep. Looked like a near side shot there on the run. That's kind of becoming a little bit more popular. 2 quick goals by Fairfield.
Yeah, another face-off win here. They embrace a little bit of the chaos, this Stags team. Ford going right back to work. But back to Mckenna and Strauss. The 2 of them combined for the 6th best duo in the entire country in terms of goals scored, as Strauss has that one saved by Brennan.
And you can see these guys just have the green light. You know, Mckenna testing his matchup. He kicks it up to Strauss, and Strauss taking a heat check from about 12, and a nice save there by Shane. Again, he's seeing some volume early, and is able to settle in there and make a nice save.
Schilling pressured out there. Caleb Mcconaughey getting the start at close defense, along with Braden Lynch and George Antonio.
Yeah, Coach Baxter commenting on our Zoom. Just the challenge with a really young defense this year, but you know, so far so good.
There's one. Austin Stewart goes low, a little worm burner on the sidearm shot, and he ties things up at 3.
For the Fairfield fans at home, I apologize for jinxing your defense. A really nice take here. Again, we talked about getting to the middle of the field, right? Something that has been more popular in lacrosse just within the past 10 years is minimizing alley shots, you know, and trying to get sweeps or rollbacks to the middle of the field as much as possible. And you saw a nice shot there and a goal.
And a lot of traffic there in front of James Corsinini, the starting goalie for Fairfield.
44 seconds of the quarter.
I'm loving this pace that we're at right now, Travis. I'm hoping for a shootout here. Give me 40-plus goals. I love it.
Got Tim Lucky out there to take the faceoff for Fairfield. He wins the draw, but it's thrown away. Now it's loose. The Stags pick it up. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and Tim Lucky, with the last name, gets a nice break. That second midfield unit on for Fairfield. This is a Stags team that'll play a bunch of guys, especially in the midfield role, both as offensive guys and short stick D middies. Andrew Baxter likes the philosophy of, all right, let's get a lot of guys in there, keep legs fresh, and then when it comes down to crunch time, you've got your full arsenal of guys available. Nice roll and the save in front by Brennan.
Good ride. Good hustle by Fairfield.
There's the freshman again, Mckenna.
Yeah, it looks like Fairfield's going to the invert here with this second midfield unit. A pretty common occurrence for a lot of collegiate offenses. You'll have midfielders, guys coming out of the box that played a lot of attack in high school. So matching them up against a short stick is usually advantageous for teams like Fairfield.
Here's Jake Coleman, gets around his man. Gets it out to Okupski, saved by Brennan. And here comes Kobe Smith. Turn it on the Jets. Here he comes, and he snipes top shelf. That is why he's going to be playing likely in the PLL this summer. Kobe Smith goes end-to-end for his 4th of the year.
Most certainly will be playing at the next level. Kobe Smith, you kind of could just like hear the crowd almost hold their breath, as he kind of kicked it into that 5th gear as he crosses the midfield line. And hey, man, I love the aggressive mentality. If you're not going to stop me, I'm going to get to 8 yards. And I liked how he just kept that shot high. You see a lot of long poles usually shoot that ball low. If you can keep that trajectory high as a long stick shooter, it's really tough for the goalie to pick up.
Nice play by Constantinides. Little underhand shovel to get that to his midfielder. Now the Tigers keep the possession. Here's Berkley weaving and scoring. Kyle Berkley is tough to stop when he does that. His 20th of the year, 2nd of the day.
Berkley feeling it early. 2 shots, 2 goals. Again, a lot of the clips when I watch this guy play, he's getting to 5-6 yards, just, again, challenging defenses. Hey, if you want to stop me, you're going to have to body on body, all right? Just a little cross check is not going to do it. I'm going to get to the rack and just make it count.
Yeah, Marcus, I think we may hit 40 combined goals today. We are rocking and rolling. We're not even 10 minutes into this game. We've got 8 combined goals. Fairfield gets another possession, now trailing by 2.
I love it. Travis, I know you've called a couple games with former professional and all-time great Greg Gorenlian, who's a face-off specialist, but I'm an offensive guy. I'm a goal scorer. You know it, so this is what I'm here for, baby. I love it.
Yeah, we get less face-off talk with you, and this game, I think, is perfectly fit for having you on the call. We got Mike Drake going to work. By the way, Drake has been a nice pickup for Fairfield. 24 goals, 38 points this year. Grad student out of Notre Dame. Played 30 games for the Fighting Irish throughout his career as Towson forces a turnover. Jordan Hayes gets it across midfield.
Nice job there. Just, as a defensive midi, right? Your job's not done until that ball is in the attack stick, right? So any way you can get it out. If you can run by a guy, great. If not, don't have too much pride to just roll away, right? Use the width of the field is important when you clear, and a nice job by Towson.
Keep an eye on the continued pace of this game. Towson would prefer to keep this a settled 6-on-6 game, while Fairfield, they thrive in getting up and down, forcing a turnover, doing early offense. So as good as Towson probably feels, you kind of imagine they probably would like to keep this a more settled game. That shot
for sure. For sure, that is something Coach Nadalin mentioned. They're definitely they lean more towards the 6-on-6. But I think the mark of a great team and teams that are fluid and adaptable, they're kind of able to play at the pace that presents itself. It looks like Fairfield might be hopping into a little bit of a zone here off that end line shot.
They had Nick Dimeo right there on the edge. He stepped in the crease. It was a good look. Dimeo, a guy who has started the season really hot, has gone kind of ice cold here in CAA play. Just 2 goals and 26 shots in the first 3 games of CAA play for the Maryland transfer. But he's a guy who can fill it up when he's on, and they're hoping that it's just a cold slump that he can shoot his way out of.
Yeah, and truthfully, Towson, I think, is going to need him to score 1 to 2 goals today to win this game. He's one of your best players. He's one of your most potent shooters, and sometimes as a shooter, when you hit those cold streaks, sometimes you just got to keep shooting. But Coach Nadalin spoke about Nick as well and just said, have a positive impact on the game, no matter what it is. Set good picks, ride hard, pick up ground balls. So it'll be interesting to track Dimeo today.
Here's Bryce Ford. Outside to Drake. Bobbled it for a second. That Towson defense swarming, and it's Garrett Zingalia who comes up with the GP, but he gives it right back. Goal is open, and Mckenna takes advantage. Brennan went behind to start the clear, and it popped out of the stick of Zingalia and right to Fairfield.
Just spoke about it briefly after that last clear from Towson, right? Your job isn't done until that ball is out of your defensive end, and just a mishandle here by the Towson defense, and those are the ones that in a shootout type of game that you probably want to have back, but heads up play by Fairfield finishing there. Mckenna again, just Johnny on the spot.
Bryce Ford with the assist as Constantinides goes right toward the goal.
That's his second of the game and 38th goal of the season. Assisted by number 20.
Mckenna and Stroud now both tied with 38 goals apiece for Fairfield. Both of them tied for the team high. Man caught up there at X as Avanzado now takes his man behind. He's got the freshman on him. Avanzado hands free and a snipe. Top corner. That thing was filthy.
What a shot by Avanzado. And this is what you need out of your big-time players, right? Avanzado just challenging his matchup. Nothing special there. I think he just picked up a loose ball and was like, hey, I'm going to get to the rack. And absolutely love seeing that shot. High and away, top right. Personally, my favorite corner. Nice take by Avanzado.
Tigers go back up by 2, 6-4. Just under 2 minutes to go here in this first quarter. You're just joining us. First place on the line today here in Fairfield, Connecticut. Both these teams 2-1 in conference play coming in. Winner is assured at least a tie of first place, depending on what happens between Delaware and Drexel later today. Those two teams squaring off at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Another take and another goal. Schilling has his second in this opening quarter, and Towson has a 3-goal lead for the first time.
Schilling, a part of the Towson Big Four, along with Avanzado. We've seen Berkley score. Dimeo's yet to get one, but just a nice take there, kind of catching his defenseman sleeping a little bit. And again, Coach Baxter alluded to it, a young defense, right? Fairfield kind of struggling a little bit right now to straight up just win their matchups. And way to get in front of the goal there by Schilling and finish that.
Yeah, the Stags starting defense, 2 freshmen and a sophomore. So guys learning kind of trial by fire here in CAA play. As Fairfield won the faceoff, but the loose ball scooped up by Reese Potter. Nice move by the short stick D-Mitty for Michigan.
I love the D-Mitty look with the elbow pads like tucked up by the triceps, knowing those guys don't get checked a whole lot, kind of letting the biceps show. Nice ground ball there by Reese.
Alex Reed will settle things down here. Final 45 seconds of the first quarter.
Yeah, and as an offense here, right? Like these are the kind of tough situations that you try to script as a coach in practice, but you're going to want to initiate around 20 seconds. And the goal is, right, obviously you want to score, but you want the ball to die in your end here. You don't want to give Fairfield a shot at transition. We know they can run. So let's see what Towson's got.
Reed takes his matchup on. Now he sends it behind. 15 to go in the quarter. Shot clock not an issue. Quick slide comes. Dimeo goes underneath, has it checked. Gets it back with 2, shot on is saved. Would have counted if it went. But a stop there for Corsinini. However, it's the Tigers with a 3-goal advantage after 15 minutes. All sorts of fireworks in this first quarter, including a snipe from James Avanzado. He's got the Tigers up by 3 after 1. You know, there are a couple of games this year that Towson only scored 7 or 8 goals. They've got 7 in the first quarter here in Fairfield, Connecticut. A 3-goal lead after 1 in the CAA Game of the Week on LSN. Travis Eldridge, Marcus Holman back with you. And Sean Nadelin watching at home has to be pretty happy with how that first quarter fared for the Towson Tigers, huh?
I'm sure he's maybe thinking about staying home for a couple more games this season after that quarter, but no, we wish Coach the best, and unfortunate he's not able to be on the sideline with his team today.
Face-off win there for Constantinides. The Connecticut kid getting a chance to come very close to home and having a good start so far. A face-off victory there to start the second quarter.
Yeah, and again, just kind of going back to, you know, what Coach Baxter, I think his fear, again, was just a young defense that's trying to settle in and get chemistry, and Towson's certainly taking advantage of that in the first quarter. We'll see if there were any adjustments made at the quarter break there.
Loose ball here behind Cage. And the ground ball won by the Stags. However, a good ride here by Towson. Chance to get it back. Scooped up finally by Antonio. Another one of those freshmen. He's from Tampa, Florida. Let's see if the Stags want to go early. Well, he's got to keep an eye on Stroud. His shot sails way high.
I like the aggressive mentality by Fairfield over the midline, right? Trying to push a little bit with their defensive midfielders, right? Let the first midi come out of the box and kind of take a run at his guy while Towson's not set up.
Ford rolling near side. Drake lost it for a second, but regains control, and now over to Border on the far wing. Border trying to use that size, draws the long pole. Step down shot. Drake had his helmet taken off on that hit. And there is some confusion with our officials. The official bound by the end line was ready to trigger in play, but I think we've got a flag down.
Yeah, Towson defense, a little bit too physical, right? They're known for their toughness, right? That's one of the pillars of this program of Towson Lacrosse is toughness, but got to keep those hits in the chest and the shoulder area.
It's a 1 minute and unnecessary roughness penalty on Colby Bars. So 1 minute extra man. Fairfield goes man up for the first time today. A unit that ranks 4th in the country, nearly 57% on the man up this year. Drake, good movement so far for the Stags. Bounce shot goes. They cash in. You cannot go man down against this Stags unit. It's Mckenna with a first half hat trick.
Mckenna with the righty hammer. It looked like Towson was shutting off Taylor Stroud there. Taylor Stroud, excuse me. And Fairfield able to adjust, right? Get guys into good spots. And again, your goal scorers have got to make plays in these big type of games. And it's Mckenna already with a hat trick now, just early in the second quarter.
They were shutting off Stroud there. So Fairfield playing 5-on-4 on the man up as Lebetti wins the face-off right on in, shoots wide.
Lebetti's got speed out of that face-off X, man. He's great coming into this game. 7 goals, 2 assists. So he's not afraid to shoot. Just missed the cage there a little bit wide. That's ideally, right, you want to score if you're a face-off guy, but you know, the next best thing is kind of missing the goal and letting your attackman back it up to retain possession.
Mckenna there to back up that jump shot. Jump shot squeezes past Brennan. Back-to-back goals to start this second quarter for Fairfield. That's Max Paparosi, the junior.
Travis, I know I said I wanted to see 40 goals, but I didn't think we would actually be on this pace still midway through the second quarter. Again, I think these offenses are just challenging their matchups, right? He's got a matchup on a short stick here, able to get up the hash, and I think that's one that Shane Brennan might want to have back. You see a little frustrated kind of flick out of the cage there.
Fairfield Stags goal scored by number 29.
Konstantinides wins the draw. That one hits a Fairfield player in the helmet, but Towson keeps possession. Stewart able to collect. This is the type of game, you got to keep an eye on those face-off guys. This is a lot of face-offs to take in the first 18 minutes of action.
Absolutely. This is, again, Division I lacrosse has become, a 9-month ordeal. These guys train in the fall. This is when all that endurance and weightlifting and cardiovascular training comes into play. So, it's going to be a lot of reps for those guys.
Weber! The Tigers with an answer. Josh Weber's 4th of the year.
These offenses are playing with like a 30-second shot clock right now. Awesome take by Weber. Again, we talked about getting topside to his right hand. I didn't really love that approach from the Fairfield defensive midfielder there. It seems like if you know that guy's a right-hander, get your hips around, force him down the alley to make a left-handed shot. So again, just kind of simple things there to maybe help your defense out a little bit, but nice take by Weber.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of guys be able to get their hands free toward the middle of the field, and just about every one of them has gone for a goal.
Scored by number 12, Josh Weber, unassisted at 11 minutes, 49 seconds of the
Another
goal.
loose ball off this face-off, and let's see, going Fairfield's way. Last touch by the Tigers, at least we think. Never mind, call reversal. Good communication by the officials there.
I'm sure Coach Baxter's not pleased about that one. You want a little home cooking on maybe those 50-50 calls, but I'm sure the refs trust the refs. I'm sure they were there and got it right.
A chance for Towson to go back up by 3. Led 7-4 after 1. Fairfield scored the first 2 goals of the second quarter. The Tigers just got one. John Bender. Now Dimeo with that high step and move. It's become a patented move of the Maryland transfers. By the way, if you don't know much about Nick Dimeo, all you need to know about how interesting of a person he is off the field is he's a California, he grew up for the most part in California, but he's got a Boston accent because of his early years growing up in Boston. We've got a great feature with him at halftime, so make sure you stay tuned for that.
Pretty big difference in cultures there, but
slightly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd love to meet him.
He's also a big fan of rom-coms, so I mean, he is an eclectic human being. Fairfield coming the other way after the shot off the side of the cage for Towson.
Finally, we get a defensive stop and a clear.
Yeah,
haven't seen too many of those.
This is one of those, if you're a defensive fan, you're hiding, closing your eyes watching this game. This is Drake on the wing, has the short stick matchup. Nice move. Now Mckenna. Step down shot, Stroud, saved by Brennan. Read it the whole way.
Mckenna to Stroud is usually the look for Fairfield, but not able to convert there. Nice save by Shane Brennan.
And there's a shot low to high, just missed for Dimeo. Trying to find that stroke as Schilling was there for the backup.
Looks like, again, it looks like Fairfield, off of any shot off the end line, is jumping into a zone. Kind of easy to recognize. You'll usually see a defensive player on the crease passing guys off and trying to guard guys. And then you'll usually be able to see 6 heads kind of turn and flow with the ball defensively.
Berkley, no
nice
look. Nice save. Konstantinides. That was a really pretty feed, but a better stop.
Yeah, sometimes against the zone, right, you're going to have holes and you need your goalie to make a save. And certainly that's the case for Fairfield there. Nice save by James Corsonetti.
Mckenna working behind at X as Fairfield sends a couple of guys off to get the offensive midfield on. Okupski, part of that rotating second line Fairfield uses. Along with Aiden McLean, the freshman from New Jersey. He inverts. Has his step, McLean just high.
Yeah, both these teams no strangers to the invert. It seems like almost every other possession they're going back there. Again, it kind of depends on your personnel.
There's another shot just wide. Does not reset the shot clock that still sits at 16. Forward. Skip pass back across. Spin, shot just wide again. Now 6 to shoot.
Enough time to get to the front of the goal if you want to go here.
They will. They tried to get that to hit the post or the goalie. Instead, it's a shot clock violation.
Yeah, you know, those situations are interesting for how teams want to handle it. Usually, right, if you want to make a feed, you want that feed going east-west, you know, out on the width of the sideline instead of north-south versus sending it down to the other attack. So nice job by Towson kind of holding up there and not giving up a cheap one at the end of the shot clock.
That was a risky lobbed pass across. Reese Potter, if that was a little bit higher and took a little longer to get to him, was like a wide receiver coming across the middle of the field. He's going to get laid out. But he comes.
Yeah, tough for us to see from the angle view, but I think Fairfield jumped into a 10-man ride there. And then, again, Towson handling it with poise. Right, a little bit of a sketchy pass, but they're able to get it out, get their offense on the field. I think Fairfield's going full-time zone now, it looks like, defensively.
Dimeo. There he is. We've been waiting for him to get going. He goes to the bounce shot at the top of the box. Tigers back up by 3.
Yeah, his bread and butter, his left hand. Again, finding that off hip. Nice bouncing shot. And you can see here in the celebration, right? He's been in a slump. You know, I think that's his now 3rd goal on his last like 30 or so shots. So he's fired up, and I'm sure his teammates are fired up as well for him.
Guy who we saw in that comeback came up just a little short against Hopkins in the season opener. That is an emotional type leader as Constantinides goes all the way in. He paid the price though.
I mean, everybody wants a touch now. Attackmen, middies. We've had a pole goal. Face-off guys are trying to score.
I mean, when we've seen the combined 15 goals in the first quarter and a half, you're going to have the spreading of the wealth in terms of goal scoring. Before that Dimeo goal, that was the longest drought we have had in the game. Remember, we had a goal in the first minute of action today, and things have not slowed down.
Fairfield back in man-to-man here. Back pipe.
Great pass. Berkley somehow catches it, can't finish. He's in the crease. I don't know if, yeah, that's what they're going to call a crease violation. No push. So the Stags get a stand, needed that.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, it seems like the defenses are slightly able to kind of just settle into the game right now. You know, as a coach, either offensively or defensively, you're looking for those, you know, those turkeys. You want 3 stops in a row on defense. Watch out. Here comes Kobe.
Kobe Smith picks up the loose ball. No numbers for Towson, so he'll settle things down and hand it off to Avanzato. Chance in the substitution game. Shot just wide. Pretty good look there from Stewart.
I love attacking in that early offense, right? Guys are subbing on and off the field. Sometimes you can get a number situation as an offense. You could be playing 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, right? And as an offense, you want more space to dodge and operate.
Back to that zone look for Fairfield's defense.
Yep, zone offense. You'll see guys just carrying into gaps, right? You got to have sharp stick work against the zone. You got to have guys that can find space inside. And then you got to have guys that can shoot from the outside, able to step in and take 10, 12-yard shots if needed.
Bender's shot is off. Dimeo there for the backup. Trying to find Schilling there in front. A save by Corsiniti.
Nice job by Corsiniti staying big inside. Again, just Towson kind of getting whatever they want right now. I'd like to see Fairfield just be a little bit more aggressive, maybe if they're going to sit in that zone. Maybe step out a little bit further, get your hands on guys. You know, just from an offensive perspective, when teams get in a zone like that, it gets really comfortable to stand around and just kind of pick apart that defense.
Fairfield wants to talk things over before this offensive possession. We'll step aside. Just under 4 minutes to go in the first half. 9-6 Towson. We welcome you back to Rafferty Stadium here at Fairfield University, and the lacrosse program here for the Stags celebrating 50 years of lacrosse. This program starting back in 1972. Today at halftime there will be a nice ceremony honoring some members of different teams throughout that 50 years, including some of the guys that helped start this program 50 years ago. Andy Copeland expected to be in attendance here today as well, the former head coach at Fairfield, now, of course, head coach in the Premier Lacrosse League as well. So pretty cool afternoon here with a tailgate, a big get-together after the game, and a really cool environment here at Rafferty Stadium today.
Yeah, and Coach Andrew Baxter was pretty excited about that with the alumni coming back and, you know, getting rowdy in the stands and the pre- and post-game tailgates. And, you know, we asked him about the tradition at Fairfield, and he kind of was at a loss for words and just said, hey, I want to add my stamp on this program and try to get some more wins and some CAA championships here, just moving forward into his tenure, only in his third year as head coach.
And we've seen it already here this year. A team now 7-5 coming into today. They snapped a 16-game CAA losing streak earlier this season, losing streak that dated all the way back to 2018, but they snapped that with the victory over Hofstra, got another one last week against UMass. And a win here today. They are 3-1, and a team that could be headed to the CAA tournament. That was a great read by Potter. Reese Potter's having a nice game so far here for Towson. He's been on some of the wings of the face-off, has been a big key in the clearing game as well, and there he causes a turnover.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think, you know, defensive midfielder, if you can ever get your name called on the broadcast. Ooh, nice move.
Hit the post. Kyle Berkley had an all-time move, but he couldn't finish. He went
Berkley
with the dodge, a little stutter step through the defense, but he couldn't get it to fall.
Yeah, I think one of his signature moves is just splitting those double teams, right? Usually, you know, teams are used to when they slide, guys just moving the ball on, but Berkley's not afraid to run through a couple guys to score if he needs to. Nice check.
Stroud has it poked away, and that'll be Towson ball. Yeah, Berkley, that play right there is like in basketball when you have a killer crossover step back, you get the guy to fall down, but then you miss the jumper.
Absolutely.
Hey, offsides on Towson.
Push. You might have numbers here. Yep.
Here they come. Drake saved. And you got a guy in the crease for Fairfield. Let's see if it was a push. It was. Stays here with the Stags.
I thought Fairfield had one more opportunity there. I think Mckenna was waiting on the pipe, but elected to kind of take that 12-yard shot. Right? Pass up a good one for a great one. Look, have your ears open. Listen for that one more call. Find your teammate for a dunk.
Here's Kyle Borda. Gives it off for Paparosi. Ball loose in front, deflected out. Stroud uses the body, and Borda able to come up with the ground ball. I don't even think he knew it was in his stick.
Timeout. Good timeout.
They got the reset of the shot clock as well, so at 51 seconds still on this shot clock as Fairfield takes the timeout with 1:43 to go, trailing by 3. They keep the possession. Look at the Berkley move again. I mean, just filthy.
All Swedish, no finish, Travis, unfortunately, there for Kyle Berkley.
I got to give credit to Corsinini. That didn't hit the pipe. He stopped it. I think it hit the sweatpants on the way through, but whatever keeps it out. If you're just joining us, a reminder that Sean Nadelin, the Towson head coach, not making the trip here to Fairfield today due to being put into COVID protocol. Matt Musey is the acting head coach here for Towson. Steve Grossi and Andy Schilling, of course, there as well. But it's been a little different feel on the sidelines for Towson. Hasn't mattered much, though. They have a 3-goal lead, 9 goals in this first half, as their defense has started to settle in a little bit more here in these last couple of possessions.
Yeah, I think after an 11-goal first quarter, I think we were bound to at some point kind of just settle down, and Towson, has definitely done that defensively. Fairfield as well, getting a couple stops. Let's see what Fairfield runs out of this timeout. I'm curious to see what they got. I'm thinking maybe a big little pick for Mckenna. He's obviously got the hot hand with 3 goals, so maybe try to get him a switch on a short stick, and then you obviously have Stroud up top, who you can kick the ball to and then let him operate. So Fairfield obviously has that nice balance on offense with Mckenna kind of attacking from behind and Stroud up top. So we'll see what they do here. Usually out of timeouts, you want to give the ball to your best players. So we'll see what Coach Gibson, the offensive coordinator for Fairfield's got drawn up here.
And credit to Townsend's defense. They've done a nice job on Stroud. They've had Kobe Smith rotating on him. Nice feed in front. That one's saved by Brennan. They had Mckenna. Another ground ball by our guy, Reese Potter.
Yeah, we talked about Potter earlier. What I was going to say before Berkley got to the rack was usually if your name's getting called in the broadcast, it's probably a good thing as a defensive midfielder. I think, Travis, you and I can agree that defensive midfielders are probably the most important players on the field for a lot of these collegiate teams. They're just the heart and soul. And a nice job by Potter so far in this first half as Towson takes a timeout.
Yeah, they'll try to preserve what likely will be their last possession of this first half. Yeah, you mentioned the short stick D-middies. I mean, the best teams who have success, especially late into May, it's do you have a short stick D-midi that more often than not, when they're taking on what is going to be the offense's best shot, can they get enough stops to help you, or at least pass a guy on enough to help you get stops? Because those are the guys that are going to get attacked all day long.
Yeah, for sure. And Towson, has a pretty awesome history of defensive midfielders. You think back to Zach Goodrich, who is still playing professional right now. It's definitely a position they pride themselves in, as he kind of set the standard for defensive midfielders. I mean, he had an unbelievable college career at Towson. And, yeah, I mean, those guys just – it's all guts and no glory for them, right? It's usually guys that come in from high school and they've scored a bunch, but then they're I think some teams can use it as a demotion when really, if you look at it as a promotion where you can play 40, 45 minutes of a game and spark transition for your team, then and you can put the clamps on the other team's best offensive midfielder. I think that's an awesome job to have.
Let's see what the Tigers draw up coming out of their timeout. 1:09 to go in this first half.
Yeah, I'm looking for Towson to kind of, they like the wing dodge underneath. Maybe they'll float a guy out on the backside. But again, I think we have the shot clock at around 60 here. So they'll probably take some time off and then initiate again with about 20 or 30 seconds on the shot clock. Looks like Fairfield's in that zone again.
Got Berkley, Weber, and Reed in the midfield here for Towson coming out of the timeout. This is Berkley. We've seen him create against zone, man, doesn't really matter. He's had opportunities. A couple of goals today here for the Tigers. Avanzado now on the wing. 30 on the shot clock. About a 7-second differential here at the end of the first half. Avanzado has his man sidestepped, and then a save by Corsiniti.
Great move there by Avanzado. Again, Corsiniti shutting the door on a couple of these often awesome moves by Towson players.
Just 13 seconds left for Fairfield. Only 4 seconds to get it over midfield. They just do. Now 6 to go in the half. Stroud gets Drake, and he ran out of time. He needed to take that first one. It was saved by Brennan either way, and so it brings us to the end of the first half. Well, that was an entertaining one. Things slowing down scoring-wise in that second quarter after an 11-goal outburst in the first. Nick Dimeo has Towson up by 3 here at halftime on LSN. We'll be back with more action. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. We welcome you back to Rafferty Stadium in Fairfield, Connecticut. Towson with a 9-6 lead here at halftime in our CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. The Tigers getting a goal from Nick Dimeo, the San Diego, California native, actually grew up in Boston, and you'll be able to tell that from his Boston accent. We had a chance to catch up with him earlier this year. Let's get to know Nick a little bit better. So we're here with Towson attackman Nick Dimeo. Nick, you are a guy who is coming from California when you came out of high school, but you grew up a little bit in Boston. I know your family moved a bit when you were growing up. Are you more a Cali kid or a Boston guy?
I'd say my lacrosse roots are Boston, but high school-wise, I was California. So I would say like that reason, lacrosse in California definitely helped me, but lacrosse in Boston was probably bigger growing up, playing with all those kids and all that, and that roots.
What about personality-wise? Are you more like California or Northeast?
Definitely Boston. I got the Boston accent, everyone tells me. So I'm more Boston related, like accent wise. Definitely everyone makes fun of me for the Boston accent. So California was definitely weird with the accent.
It's okay. I'm used to it. We're up here in Boston. So you just blend right in. It's perfect. Your lacrosse game, you talk a little bit about that. What's the best way, like if somebody asked you to describe your style and game, how do you do it?
I'd say I'm like I find the net. I would say like I find the open areas. I know my guys will pass me the ball, and I've worked on my shooting my whole life with my dad and all that. So it's a little related to my brother Anthony. He's a good shooter too. So I think it just runs in the family, like the shooting wise. I think that's like a big aspect of our game.
Who do you like to model your game after? Are there a couple of guys that have come before you?
I would say Ryan Brown was definitely one of the best shooters in college lacrosse. So Kyle Marr, too, from Hopkins. I remember growing up watching him play, too. So a couple of those guys that were just great shooters.
You mentioned your brother Anthony, and you have a list of a number of different players in your family, including your dad. Who's the best player in the family?
I'd say my little sister, Sydney. She's up and coming, and she's a freshman in high school right now. So I think she's going to be the best out of the family. She's definitely working the hardest.
It's always the younger siblings that go ahead and beat everybody else because they just get beat up the whole time.
Yeah, once me and Anthony moved on, my two other sisters, my dad focused on strictly the girls lacrosse game. So definitely he's focused on them, and she's paying off.
So we'll keep an eye out for Sydney. If you had to pick one throughout any part of your lacrosse career, high school, growing up, club, whatever, what's the favorite goal you scored?
Probably high school. We played Torrey Pines. We scored a goal to go up 5-4, and it was like the biggest upset in California lacrosse history, I'd say. So I think that was the most hype I've ever seen, like lacrosse in California, was when we beat Torrey Pines to go up 5-4.
Yeah, it's a prestigious program out there in California.
It was definitely an upset.
when you score and you've got a goal song come on, what's your goal song now and why?
It's called Right Foot Creep. It has to do with the gritty from like it's in Fortnite too. So it's all like they do it in the gritty, like all around. It's kind of just like a celly. It's a good song to like get the crowd hyped too. I see all the little kids in the stands after I score. They're all like hitting the gritty. So it's pretty cool.
Can you do the gritty?
I could, but I'm not the greatest at it. There's a lot of kids on our team that are good at it, but me, I'm not sturdy with it.
So you're not doing that as a celebration.
No, it's more for everyone else, not myself.
Okay. That's fair. I was reading in your bio, your favorite actor is Matthew McConaughey. What's your favorite McConaughey movie?
Fool's Gold, probably. It's a good rom-com, I'd say.
You're a big rom-com guy?
I have recently, yeah. A couple kids at Towson have definitely got me into the rom-com game where it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't partake you for being a rom-com guy, but now,
I never was. I never was. And then now James Avanzado is a big rom-com guy, so he's got me into it.
Well, I think that's a good way to finish this off. Now we got to know Nick Dimeo from Towson a little bit better. Thanks, man, for the time, and good luck here the rest of the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Start of the third quarter here on Lax Sports Network. Towson and Fairfield in our CAA game of the week as we're about set for the second half. And these face-off guys have been doing double duty. They combined 15 goals in that first half as Frankie Labetti and Matt Constantinidis back out there to get this third quarter underway. Travis Eldridge, Marcus Holman with you. And we are set for third quarter action. We'll see if this third quarter looks more like the first quarter where we had 11 combined goals or the second where there were just 4, as it's Towson ball to start the quarter.
Yeah, and we'll see if we can highlight some halftime adjustments here. Fairfield jumped into that zone more in the second quarter, and they limited Towson to 2 goals. So we'll see if they, kind of mix that in. It looks like they're going to start off in man here, but a nice adjustment by Coach Baxter as Towson takes possession.
Here's Reed out of the midfield. Down that alley, it's Weber. Strong defense here on Avanzado. Dimeo was down in the middle. And they then find him as he takes another hit.
Well, it seems like the game plan was check a little bit harder inside and be more physical. Certainly, Fairfield on defense there, doing a nice job just closing it up on the crease as they get the turnover.
And keep an eye on Taylor Stroud. Not only did he only score the 1 goal, he didn't have a lot of shots for Fairfield in that first half. Towson did a pretty good job defensively on him, as this one will go the other way.
Looked like we might have had an offsides call behind the play.
And he's a guy, if you're Fairfield, you've got the scoring that you can spread around, but he's a guy that it feels like they could use to get going here a bit in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to get him more shots. See if we can get his hands free off of a teammate dodging and just moving the ball to number 12 in white.
Step down, shot just wide from Bender.
Love the dive out effort there by the Fairfield defenseman.
Braden Lynch going all out. That second midfield unit on here for Towson. Includes Chop Gallagher. Goes for the skip pass, and it's too high. So a trio of turnovers, 2 for Towson, 1 for Fairfield to start this second half. Ryan Lancaster lost it for a second and scooped up. Fairfield in trouble. And here's Chop Gallagher with it.
Make that 4 turnovers now, Travis.
Maybe 5. We're just, we traded goals in the first quarter. Now we're trading turnovers in the second half. This won't make either coach happy. 3 on each side. We just wanted to even it out as Gallagher took his eye off of it.
Jeez.
He'll track it down.
Take a deep breath here, boys. Let's go. Let's catch and throw, right? You guys are better than what you're putting on film right now. It's funny as a coach, you kind of go back and forth. At times we had our guys come out early from the locker room at halftime and go through actually, stick work drills just to get them back in the flow instead of coming right out of the locker room and going right into the game.
Here's Berkley at the top of the box. Fairfield back in that zone. Avanzado. It was a tough catch inside. Goes for the scoop shot. There's the backup for Dimeo. Berkley. Little sidearm pass. Good rotation, and they cash in. There's Alex Reed, the midfielder, with his first of the day. And the Tigers strike first in the second half.
That's just really, really good offense by Towson. They get the ball up top to their playmaker, Berkley. He's able to draw a slide, dumps it off, and then it's Reed to finish this play off. Dimeo on the feed. You see sharp stick work, and then a great shot to that far pipe by Alex Reed.
And you know what? It feels like we were talking about with Coach Sean Adelin about Nick Dimeo. That pass, that extra pass to get an even better look is the type of stuff they're looking for. That's just his 5th assist of the year.
Yeah, and to your point, that's what Coach mentioned, right? You don't have, just because you're struggling with your shot doesn't mean you need to take a bunch to score. You can do a lot of other things to impact the game, and certainly did there. I think that's a mom goal. Yep.
Yep, we had the cheers in the crowd, but it didn't fool James Corsiniti off the side of the cage. It's tough for the fans from our vantage point and on this angle of the stands, because you just don't know from that far side.
Yeah, you don't know. A lot of experience to be able to discern between a mom goal and a real goal.
See what Fairfield can do here. Borda. First real possession of the second half for him comes 4.5 minutes in. Shot just high. Borda looking for that pass back out top.
Ooh.
Lost a stick. Now Borda saves it on the sideline. Mckenna has it. He has it taken away. His Towson defense is swarming. Somehow Fairfield keeps the ball, but he's out of bounds.
Great hustle by Towson. Just throwing haymakers, bodying guys.
Look out, here comes Kobe Smith. He already has a goal today. And they throw it away.
Nice hustle coming out of the box there from Fairfield. Trailing the play, getting that check on the attackman. Able to stymie transition there from Towson.
It's about to say that kind of swarming defense is the calling card of Sean Adelin Towson teams. They are just brutal to go up against.
Absolutely. He talked about compete. He talked about toughness, and he's lived it. He's a head coach that has played professional lacrosse. He played indoor and outdoor. He's known for his toughness, and usually teams take on the persona of their head coach, and Towson defense has certainly had that for many years.
Here's Drake at the top. Right around 18 minutes without a goal here for Fairfield.
Yeah, they've gone cold, gone quiet.
This is Stroud trying to get him going. He is being hounded. Ball loose. Stroud in there. And it's Towson who came up with it for a second. Brandon Hund. And now it's scooped up. Potter again. This guy has been everywhere.
Towson just seems like a half a step just quicker to those 50-50 ground balls right now. They just seem a little bit more confident in what they're doing, and let's see if they can get one here after a nice defensive stop.
Now 4 ground balls and a caused turnover for Reese Potter, the short stick D midi.
Love it.
Got double
and an ankle brace to go with it.
Yeah.
That's just gritty. Love that.
It's got double-digit caused turnovers on the season. Came into today with 11. Racing in there is Weber. Trying to tiptoe that crease to the inside. Avanzado.
Nice passing.
Dimeo just a little off on him. Berkley trying to track it down in the corner, and that'll go out of bounds.
Nice job by Fairfield collapsing on the crease there. Again, similar to that first possession, you see Dimeo a little frustrated there. Thought he was maybe open for a second, but Fairfield collapsing on the crease and being really physical inside. You have to do that as a defense.
Stags looking for their first goal since early in the second quarter.
All right, who's going to make a play? Who's going to make a play for Fairfield, right? And the play doesn't necessarily have to be dodging through 5 guys and scoring. It could just be drawing a double team and throwing a really sharp pass to a teammate. It could be setting a great pick. So let's see who steps up here on this possession. This is a big one for Fairfield.
Here's Okupski, the reigning CAA Rookie of the Week. Bounce shot saved by Brennan. Loose just on the side of the crease. I think that went off of Towson. No, it'll go the other way.
I think that's still considered a shot if the ball was loose. And I think Mckenna got to it first, but you can see it takes 2 or 3 Towson defenders to move, that 6'5" frame out of the way. And great hustle by Towson to get to the end line quick there.
Got a double team there around midfield, but nice pass to Stewart to get it across. Chop Gallagher, number 13 here in yellow for Towson, a guy who started last season as a starting attackman for the Tigers. Got hurt early on and missed the rest of that 2021 season, but moved to the midfield here this year. Dimeo lost his helmet, draws a flag. He's the type of guy that probably would have liked to keep playing even without the helmet on.
Yeah, hockey style. If it gets knocked off, just keep playing. Ooh, just a little bit high, obviously high up on the head there. Nice save.
Yeah, even with the screen in front.
Towson's first man up of the day. Let's see what the Tigers have drawn up here.
It's a Towson man up unit, 15 for 36 on the year, right around 41%.
Yep, keep an eye out for Avanzado. He's got 7 man up goals on the year, number 53.
There he is, right on cue, rings the bar. That'll reset the shot clock. So 1 minute man up here for the Tigers. Inside, they got it. There he is, James Avanzado. He's been a man-up machine this year.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Tigers go back to Avanzado. He's a shooter. He's a scorer, obviously. Nice little hidden ball trick on the perimeter, and then, he's got stealing my heart there a little bit as a crease right-handed finisher. That's primarily my role during the summer Premier Lacrosse League. So great take by Avanzado. Quick release. Usually goalies have trouble tracking those shots when your back is facing the goal.
I could tell you were salivating a bit when he caught that ball in the middle and he had some space to shoot.
Whoa, good hustle. Holy moly.
Betty can't keep possession of the ball, finally does.
Look inside, look in.
Oh, they had him. This is a big possession for Fairfield, trailing by 5 for the first time today.
Yeah, Towson's definitely taking the momentum of this game. And again, you can't score 5 goals in one possession, right? There's no 2-point arc in college. So there you go. Dodge hard, draw fouls, right? Nice take by Mckenna, just challenging his matchup, and he's able to draw a slash there. See if you can score now, too.
Saved there by Brennan, but it'll trigger the penalty. And this is a Fairfield man-up unit. We talked about it in the first half when they scored on their one and only opportunity. They have been potent on the extra man, 4th in the country coming into today, and they'll get another chance here.
Yep, 57%, maybe a little bit higher after they scored already earlier today. And head coach Andrew Baxter gave a lot of credit to the offensive coordinator, Craig Gibson. He called him one of the most underrated offensive coaches he's been around. I asked him, what does he like to do with the man up? And he said he keeps it simple, right? Just have really good stick work, be organized, be in the right spots, and you got to let your players make plays and take shots.
Mckenna took his eyes off of it. Stroud, who's being shut off again, comes to get it. Keep an eye on 49 in white. Dylan Johannes scored 3 man-up goals against UMass last week as they turn it over.
Wow, the shutoff kind of confusing Fairfield there a little bit. I bet they jump into a 10-man ride here. Let's see. Not as much pressure as I would have expected, but nice job by the Towson man-down unit, forcing a tough pass. And again, just kind of slowly smothering Fairfield here. Taking control, making the momentum plays, getting the end line runouts, scoring on man up when they need to, getting a man down stop. Making all the little plays happen right now.
Yeah, this was a 7-6 game. Fairfield trailed by 1. Towson has scored 4 in a row as that one is saved by Corsiniti. The Stags offense came in today ranked 13th in the country in goals per game at over 14 a contest, and they have gone cold, and you got to credit Towson's defense on top of it too.
Yeah, for sure. It's a balance of both. I think Shane Brennan's done a nice job in cage. And yeah, again, a high-powered offense, but they've just gone cold like you mentioned, Travis.
Berkley, top of the box. Falls down. Here comes the help defensively for Fairfield, but they've got a man open on the crease. Schilling missed it. That's one of those in film, you feel like Schilling's probably going to go, I really wish I just would have shot it right away.
Yeah, you probably just want to shoot that one with your weak hand. Schilling's a righty. Obviously, that's why he came back to that right hand, but that's one you just got to catch. Trust your weak hand, right? Just throw that thing 5-hole at the goalie's feet from inside 3 yards. Berkley's got great vision, huh?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Bounces across. That one stays out. And it's a crease violation on Towson.
And this is the fun thing about college lacrosse right now in 2022 with the shot clock, right? A 5-goal lead is, it's not as insurmountable as it used to be. You're going to get possessions back if you can get stops, right? Teams can't sit on the ball for 2, 3, 4 minute possessions. So you just got to take it one possession at a time and try to make those little winning hustle plays.
Ford loops it across. Mckenna finally finds the back of the net. The freshman's got 4. Fairfield on the board for the first time since early in the second quarter.
And it seems like they just like to play fast. Again, this is like a 4-on-6 goal, 6 shot by Mckenna, just painting that top right corner. But I like that, again, the early pressure, under control, kind of an awkward feed there. But Mckenna does the rest. Nobody's saving that.
That's where that height comes into account there, as he just sees over the defense. That ball out of bounds off of Fairfield.
Yeah, and I think with taller players too, that overhand release is really, really tricky to track from goalies, right? If you're 6'6" and you extend that stick, you're almost up, close to 7.5 feet. And you're, even though you're shooting high on the goalie, you're like shooting down on him. So tough to track for sure. Nice fundamentals, nice mechanics by Mckenna.
Bender squeezes into Dimeo. He pulls it wide. Right around a minute to go left in this third quarter. Fairfield finally answering the bell. It ends the Towson 4-goal run. Step down shot and a save by Corsinini. Then it's given right
nice
back
ride
to Towson.
Pull it out. Use it. Yeah.
Long range shot. That probably wasn't what the Tigers were looking for there.
I can just feel Coach Nadelin pacing around the room after that shot selection, right? You hustle, you get a ride back. You know, you can kill the ball in your end of the field, and, you know, maybe a little bit greedy there by Towson. We'll see if Fairfield can take advantage of it.
And 27 seconds left in the quarter. Taylor Stroud has to look out. He circles back. Got a short stick matchup here with Reese Potter. Yeah. Doesn't go with it. 15 seconds now. Paparosi. 10 to go in the quarter. Gotta hurry. Looking inside for Mckenna. 3 seconds left. Got to do something, and just nothing doing there for the Stags. They get one back, but the Tigers, after leading by 3 at the half, will lead by 4 as we enter the fourth. James Avanzado has been a man-up machine this year. His 8th man-up goal of the season has Towson up by 4 here on LSN as we go to the fourth. Back here for the start of the fourth quarter. Towson looking for their 3rd win here in conference play of the year. They've got a 4-goal lead, 11-7 over Fairfield on the road as we start the fourth quarter. Travis Eldridge, Marcus Holman back with you. The Stags just 1 goal in essentially the last quarter plus as Frankie Labetti wins the opening faceoff of the fourth. Jump shot just high. A good look there for the Stags to start the quarter.
Yeah, we'll see what Fairfield's made of here. Again, a lot on the line. Winner takes, you know, a pretty good command of the CAA moving into the final week of the regular season and pretty much locks up their spot in the tournament. CAA is only going to be a 1-bid team this year in the NCAA tournament. And it's anybody's conference at this point.
Yeah, I mean, with what we've seen so far this year, anybody who's in the 4-team field could walk away winners in a couple of weeks. It has been that kind of year. Stags go to work. Nice check there. Colby Bars, the LSM, the native of North Carolina, with a takeaway.
Coach Nadelin mentioned him moving down from LSM to play some close defense today. Kobe Bars, nice job just winning your matchup, putting that ball on the ground, and then obviously finishing it with a ground ball. Padding the stats there. Calls, turnover, and the GB.
And so the Tigers will slow things down with a 4-goal advantage. You mentioned trying to get that 3rd conference win. Winner of today very well could enter that final week of the regular season next week as the top team in the league. Currently, Delaware, who comes into today 1-2, is leading at the half at Drexel by 4. So if that result would stand, the winner of this game would be alone in first place entering the final week of the regular season. Nice takeaway there. So Braden Lynch says, I'll raise you one, Colby Bars.
Yep, nice job on both ends of the field. I think I can't tell whether it's the offense is slowing down or the defense is just being a little bit more physical, checking harder. I mean, we knew that first quarter pace probably wasn't going to last, and we're kind of more in the score range we thought as we enter the fourth.
Okupski. Here's Jack Mckenna, the freshman with 4 goals today. He's now got 40 goals on the season. Make it 41.
Buckets.
Goal number 5 of the day. He's got Fairfield back within 3.
I'm super impressed by this kid. You've seen him score step downs. You've seen him score lefty, turning the corner here, right? He kind of does it all. Very impressed by Mckenna.
Really impressive move there. And that was a big goal here for Fairfield to start the fourth.
Yeah, Coach Baxter talked about his competitiveness, right? We mentioned that earlier. I think a cool thing about Mckenna as a freshman, he's third on their team in ground balls. Right?
Yeah, he's doing everything. I mean, that shows you the type of gritty guy he is coming in. Like, he's not just all for the glory plays. He's going to do the hard work too.
Right. You know, usually you'd think it'd be a midfielder, a defensive midfielder, but as an attackman to be third on the team in ground balls is pretty impressive, especially as a freshman.
Avanzado floats it to nobody in particular. Saved on the end line there. Saving a possession there. It's Kyle Berkley. Excuse me, Luke Schilling with the save. Chop Gallagher, jump shot off the pipe. Corsiniti comes out to try to deflect it. Dimeo trying to grab it on the sideline here. Still loose. And it comes into a Fairfield stick.
Look out.
Stags a chance to pull within 2. Ford. Here's Mckenna. Again, a save by Brennan.
Still a shot?
Yeah, they will say it's still a shot. So the backup there for the Stags. Nice job by Matt Rice.
Would have liked to see Dimeo maybe be a little bit stronger on that ground ball attempt down the other end, right? 2 hands on your stick. I know it's, sounds old school, but bend your knees, put 2 hands on your stick, and run through that thing. Secure possession for your team.
Here's Drake. He's been quiet today. Coming into today with 24 goals, 38 points. Draws Kobe Smith. It's not a matchup that anybody in the country wants to see. Borda trying to get back to that left hand. Nice job by Potter again.
Yeah. It's interesting thinking about a guy like Kobe Smith. You rarely hear his name called down on this defensive end of the field because not a lot of guys are dodging him.
Another save by Brennan as Ford took a shot. Brennan in trouble here. Throws it to Zingalia. Had to have that ground ball. They jumped the goalie with the double team. Nearly worked.
Yeah, that was a nice breakdown, not being too out of control, and Brennan escapes there.
By the way, it's confirmed by the CAA. Winner of today's game will be locked in for the CAA tournament. So you win today, you know you're playing in a couple of weeks. CAA tournament, you can see here on LSN. Tournament is at Drexel this year. Second straight year the league deciding to go to a site already predetermined. Last year was Hofstra, this year it's at Drexel. To Alex Reed. Step down shot is wide.
And it'll be interesting to see where the championship winner of the CAA falls. Are they going to be in that play-in game? Probably, you would think.
Yeah, because we have 2 play-in games now again this year with the addition of that Atlantic Sun automatic bid.
Right.
Trying to squeeze that pass in there. Couldn't find Weber. And that was going to be a shot clock violation. Avanzado makes the play. Wait a minute. That's interesting because they weren't going to call the shot clock violation. Fairfield technically had possession.
Yeah.
That's one Towson could be upset about. And instead, Fairfield does not give up the goal, and Mikey Drake races into the other end. Stroud.
Look out.
Off Brennan. Nice save. Stroud just has not had a lot of free looks, just the 1 goal today.
I like that he's trying to be aggressive. I think, again, we kind of mentioned early in the game high percentage shots, right, getting to the middle of the field, those alley runners are they're just hard to score. Your angle is limited, especially on a big goalie like Shane Brennan. Wasn't the most highest percentage shot, but I understand why Stroud is trying to go, right? Game's kind of winding down here, trying to make something happen. Maybe just a better shot location.
Give a lot of credit to both of these goalies. They could have been shell-shocked after the 11 combined goals in the first quarter, but both of them now into double digits in saves, and Brennan's up to 13.
Yeah.
Got to think like a goldfish, as Ted Lasso would say.
The only shot that matters is the next one.
Bender sends it behind. They got Schilling there. His man's hung up. Looking for Avanzato. Comes all the way through. 5 seconds left in the shot clock. And is that a pass? It was.
Yeah, not the worst possession in the world for Towson. Again, you have a 3-goal lead. You can shorten this game by using as much of the shot clock as possible. Ooh. But again, I think it's going to take 1 or 2 more for that cushion to be really, really comfortable for Towson.
At first midfield unit on for Andrew Baxter and Fairfield again. This is Borda down the far alley. Now Ford, no goals today. Excuse me, Paparosi, who does have a goal today. Back inside to Ford. Drake.
Somebody's got to run by somebody.
Mckenna, bounce shot high. McKenna's been the guy for Fairfield today. 5 goals, third 5-goal game of his freshman season. Borda one-handed. Ooh. Rebound out in front is loose and scooped up by the Tigers. Got a whistle behind the play. And we'll give it back to the Stags.
I wonder what that call was.
I did not see. So a break for Fairfield, who gets the ball back here. 6 minutes to play. They trail by 3.
All right, who's in shape? Late in the season, we've got to reset on this possession. Who's going to grind? Uh-oh.
McKenna's stick broke.
Oh.
That is unlucky. The head came off the shaft.
Interesting. I wonder if that was related probably to one of those checks he took on the crease, trying to pick up that last rebound goal or that rebound ground ball.
Looked like he put the head right back on, but some type of equipment malfunction caused the turnover. So now the Tigers can take this under 5 minutes to play. Towson looking to get back to the CAA tournament after missing it last year. It was the first time in Sean Natalin's 11 years here with the Tigers that they missed the CAA tournament. Had a heartbreaker to end the regular season.
It's the mark of a great coach is consistency, right? So, I know Coach Natalin is working hard to get Towson back to the CAA tournament and potentially the NCAA tournament too.
Three seconds to shoot. Avanzato to Schilling. Saved on the doorstep. It resets the shot clock, but the ground ball scooped up there by Daniel Wilson.
Nice ground ball, nice save. And that was like almost the perfect possession for Towson. I think that might have put the nail in the coffin there, run the shot clock all the way down and then score. But here we go. We're still in this. Fairfield still has a chance here. Got to get a couple good looks at the cage and a couple more stops.
Seen the face-off battle go back and forth between the two teams. So not inconceivable that Fairfield could win a couple in a row and get something going here. They just got to score.
Towson just doing a really good job defensively. Again, just winning their matchups and supporting each other. And Brennan's kind of heating up in cage. Timeout.
Drake was taken down. They take a timeout here. Fairfield does with 3:38 to go. This Fairfield team just 2 goals in the second half after they scored 6 in the first half. But if there's a bright spot for the Stags, it's been the freshman Jack Mckenna. 3rd time this year he scored 5 goals in a game. A bright future for him.
Bright future indeed. And again, I think the mark of a great offensive player and a great attackman is scoring in a bunch of different ways. And you've seen that from Mckenna today. You've seen right-handed, left-handed. You know, he got a cheapie with the empty net. That's always a good feeling as an offensive player. But, you know, we'll see what Coach Gibson has out of this timeout. Last time, I think they went to an invert and they tried to hit Mckenna inside. I wonder if, I think you got to give him the ball, right? He's got the hot hand. I mean, see if he can draw some attention and get a shot off.
Yeah, Jack Mckenna, you talk about, like, it's one thing to score 5 goals in a game as a freshman. That's a really big game. But his consistency this year has been what is really impressive. Third game with 5 goals. And also, he has now scored at least 2 goals in every game of his college career.
Wow. Impressive indeed, and definitely a bright future.
And it looks like he's sorted out the situation with his stick. That's the most important thing right now.
Right. That's priority number 1. Again, for any young lacrosse player out there, man, the relationship that you have with your stick is crucial. You know, we've seen it kind of. You've seen Native American players like Lyle Thompson, Randy Statz, like the Thompson brothers talk about the relationship that they have with their lacrosse stick. It really is a sacred thing. If that stick isn't throwing the way you want it to, you got to work on that thing and take care of it. Bring it inside. Don't leave it in your car. And glad to see him back out there with the equipment all sorted out.
This gets with what we've seen Towson do offensively. This kind of feels like a must-have possession for Fairfield.
Yeah.
Ford triggers it in, trying to squeeze it across. Drake, the step down just wide.
It looked like they were trying to get Strow on a screen on the backside, but Towson played it well, opened up that skip lane, and just missed that low corner.
Drake, now Strow, around to Ford. Borda off the pipe. Resets the shot clock, and it's Brennan who wins the race.
Holding that pipe strong. I think that might have hit off the pipe. I think Fairfield now, you're kind of in scramble mode. You got to press out.
Reese Potter's
doing a good job on the ride.
Great game. 4 seconds left to get it over midfield, and Regan McNamara will.
Smart play by McNamara there. Just like, hey, I got 4 seconds. I got to just turn on the 40 time here and cross the midfield line. Good poise in the clear there by Towson.
You got advantage here in the sub game. Bender does the smart thing. Yeah.
Smart decision.
Avanzado takes a shot. Ball deflected in front. Flags down. And this will trigger the penalty. So a man up is coming for the Tigers. He went for that over-the-head check, and I think he got him in the helmet.
Yeah, I think he, again, trying to go over the head. The risk is, right, any contact to the helmet's going to be called a slash most likely. So Avanzado going hard to the goal. And, again, let's see it here on the replay.
Oh, he almost had it.
I wonder if they called a hold or a slash. Nice save there, too. Jeez, that ball actually got on the frame.
Yeah,
I wonder if they called a hold or a slash.
It was deflected on its way to Corsiniti. His concentration to keep that out was really impressive. As Towson goes man up. It was a hold, so a 30-second extra man here for the Tigers.
Yeah, again, I think in today's day and age, the over-the-head check is exciting for sure, but with the pockets that are now in these modern sticks, that ball is just it's hard to get it out of there. So I like the aggressiveness by Fairfield, but Towson probably just going to kill this and then try to get one more for insurance here.
And we're back to even strength. Matt Rice racing on. Try to defend Avanzato. Here comes the double team. Nearing 90 seconds to play. Berkley at the open net, shoots it wide. Still 12 seconds left for the Tigers. Corsinini pressuring Gallagher. Gallagher all the way across, and that should ice it. Gallagher's first of the day, his fifth of the year, puts Towson back up by 4 with 1:18 to go.
Chop Gallagher. He should be on the all-name team. Love it. Just strong with the ball. I liked how he took the extra step here. Get in front of the cage, increase your angle as much as possible, right? I know it's a semi-empty net, but, you know, crazier things have happened, and Towson with the icing on the cake. Just really, really disciplined lacrosse, I think, across the board from Towson today. They kind of just smothered that Fairfield offense, and they've, 12 goals offensively for them is a solid output.
And you know what? You look at how this game was played, especially in the second half. It was exactly at the pace that Towson is most comfortable playing at.
Yeah, again, they settled in for sure, and again, yeah, that's kind of the mark of Towson's style, and even head coach of Fairfield, Andrew Baxter, alluded to it, just pretty bluntly saying that they're vanilla, but there's a reason why people love vanilla, right? People love vanilla ice cream, right? It's all time. It'll be there forever. So if you can kind of master that art of disciplined lacrosse at both ends of the field, then you'll have days like today where, you can just be successful and enjoy a 4-goal cushion here as we kind of wind down.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that it was last year was the only year in Sean Nadelin's career that this team is not one of the top 4 teams in the CAA and having a chance to compete in the CAA tournament, because this team is consistently a really well-coached, well-disciplined team, and they do this every year.
Yeah, and Coach talked about yesterday, just, I asked him what's unique about this version of Towson, this 2022 version of Towson lacrosse, and he said, we're aggressive at times, we're poised at times. Something we're working on a lot is our IQ. And I think as the second half has kind of gone on here, you've seen just some heady IQ plays. You've seen defensemen, knowing the shot clock and being able to run the ball over the midline. You've seen middies come down and instead of maybe taking a 15-yard shot, pass the ball through X, as the shot clock winds down. So it's cool to see kind of a coach talk about something that they're working on in practice, being able to execute it on game day. So hats off to Towson.
Well, and he mentioned, too, that was interesting, Sean Nadelin, like Nick Dimeo and Kyle Berkley, who have been 2 of the key offensive players for this Towson team, while they're technically juniors, they didn't get a lot of playing time when they were at Maryland before they transferred here to this Towson program. So this is their first full year being in the starting lineup every single week in college lacrosse. So there's a bit of a learning curve with that, too, like every single week knowing what you have to do to get a win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, chemistry is crucial as an offensive unit, just as it is defensively, but I think even more so as an offensive unit, to be able to share the ball and know where guys want to be. As we kind of wind it down here as Towson gets a ride back, and I think that's going to do it.
10 seconds left. Hey, Reese Potter, keep the ball on his stick. What a game for the short stick D midi. Got to give credit to the guys that don't end up in the box score quite as much, as that seals a Towson win. They will be in the CAA tournament in a couple of weeks. They win 12-8 here at Fairfield to get to 3-1 in conference play, and they are back in the postseason after missing it a year ago. We'll be back to wrap this one up. A 4-goal victory for the Tigers here on LSN as they look ahead to their final week of the regular season, knowing they will be playing in postseason here in the CAA in a couple of weeks. We'll be right back here on LSN to wrap up a Tigers victory. Back here in Connecticut, Travis Eldridge and Marcus Holman wrapping up a Towson victory to get to 3-1 here in conference play. They punched their ticket to the CAA postseason in a couple of weeks with the win. Marcus, this was a back-and-forth game early. It was chaotic, but in the last 3 quarters, the Tigers showing you some of the discipline that has been a calling card of this program. They win 12-8.
Absolutely, and I've got to get a shout-out to Jack Mckenna in a losing effort, scoring 5 goals. We mentioned his name a bunch today. Bright future for him at Fairfield. But in the end, as we spoke about, it was kind of that Towson just smothering style of lacrosse, right? Slow, Kobe Smith getting a goal in transition, and just sharing the ball offensively, getting a lot of guys involved, and a nice job in cage as well. And Towson just with a huge win today, securing their spot in the CAA playoffs.
So we take a look at the CAA standings after some of today's results. Still one game is going on. It's Drexel and Delaware. Delaware is up by a couple of goals in the third quarter there. But if Delaware holds on, what we're going to look at is possibly Towson at the top, and then 4 teams at 2-2 battling for 3 spots next week. So all sorts of fireworks could happen in the final week of the regular season. We've got a pair of games here on LSN, one on Friday night, one also on Saturday, that will go into figuring out who will be part of that CAA tournament. It's going to be, Marcus, you've been a part of these postseason pushes. It's going to be a chaotic final weekend here in the CAA.
Yeah, absolutely. Across the country, you're seeing kind of week in and week out upsets. I think aside from Maryland, who's kind of sitting alone at the top right now, there's a lot of open spots up for grabs. It's going to be fun coming down to the final week of the regular season and then into conference tournament play. But, I think as the CAA continues to push along, this is a conference that's, rich with professional players, some notable alums and guys that, head coaches that are great. So, as we kind of move into the playoffs and into the championship, I think whoever the winner of this conference is has a legitimate chance of, winning their playing game and then potentially giving that number 1 or 2 seed a run in the NCAA tournament. So exciting stuff from the CAA.
For sure. And for today, it's all smiles for Towson. They are 3-1, alone atop the standings for the time being in the CAA. They wrap up a victory here on the road. So that'll do it for us here from Fairfield. We'll be back again next week. Pair of games to wrap up the regular season, starting with Drexel versus UMass on Friday night. But for now, we say so long. Once again, your final score, Towson 12, Fairfield 8. For Marcus Holman, our producer Dylan Hand, and the rest of our crew, I'm Travis Eldridge. We say so long from Fairfield.